Hello everyone. Today we're working on our sound design project. This is the editing phase, so we've created the basic idea here. The task today is to go through and fix the little problems. There's some misses, there's some things that aren't quite where we want them to be. Um, and oftentimes when you're working on something, if you've recorded manually, it's going to be this way. So we're going to go through and just editing Midi stuff and not doing necessarily mixing, but just making this a little more accurate, a little more um, emblematic of the idea that we want to create. So let's listen to it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark everything that I want to change. I'm going to add a marker, and that way we know where to go and what to do. So let's do it and take note of what's wrong. So there's one right here. Okay, and we'll play from there. Another one here. I'm not sure about that one. Okay, we'll play it from. I'm gonna move it back a little bit. Not sure about that one. Let's adjust that. It seems to be mainly the drums here. So, but listen to all of the tracks, and we will probably have to solo some things to check on them. Click there, so I'm going to mark that as well. That's the other thing. So there's issues with like note length is one thing, but also audio things you can take note of. I might not fix that now because that's part of the mixing thing, but take note of that. Oh, and you can also be more specific with it. So if I do, I can name clipping audio, right? And I can designate the lane too, so I could say where it's happening. But for me, I would just take note of where it is, and then I will listen to it and decide what needs to happen. So let's go back. Here, so audio clipping. You can also do colors, so that might be useful for organization, so you know when you come in to work on it the next time that, oh, I got note length errors that are green and then clipping is red or something. I don't really do that, but if you are a visual person, that might be helpful. think that was pretty good pass through in terms of figuring out what is wrong. It's usually going to take more than one listen um, before you catch every single thing that you want to change about it. The thing is, though, is that when we're in the editing phase, we don't want to be making compositional changes to the piece. You know, we're not going to be like, oh, I don't like the melody and we don't like these things about it. Um, Obviously, if something is making it sound bad, we're going to change that. But if it was intended to be there, then we're going to leave it there. At least that's my prerogative. Obviously, if you're doing mixing for someone else, you may do things differently. You're going to do whatever they ask you to do. But it's something I keep in mind when I'm doing editing is not to worry too much about like changing the ideas or second guessing myself in terms of writing. But let's get to work on fixing these things. So I think the drums is probably the most important. So let's go to where we have these issues and let's listen. Yeah, super late. Okay, let's fix that. This one, yeah, I think it's supposed to be on this line. Uh, and the reason I think that happened was because I had intended there to be a space there, and then I changed my mind, and then it was not. It was no longer in line. So let's do it. And sorry, I need to go back so I can hear properly. Yeah, see, now this is out of line. So let's put this in place. One thing about my writing is that oftentimes even when I'm doing Midi, I do not pay a close attention to the metric accent. So there's a lot of stuff that just does not land on the beat, which is fine. But it makes it really a pain when you have to edit because oftentimes things are off the beat and it's like totally intentional. So it's one thing to keep in mind when you're editing is that you're not screwing up your writing by trying to make everything perfect. Because if it wasn't supposed to be that way, it should not be that way. So let's listen again. I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure if I wanted that like that. Let's listen to it again. Let's go back and listen to it more in context. Now that we've messed with it, the issue is now that we've moved some other ones that are sounding like that are place. It's very strange. Okay, let's go back. I leave those. I think I did that on purpose. Pretty sure I did that on purpose. Because I mean, you can tell it's not on the bar. It's more of like an ending of the spot than it is like a continuation of the rhythm, if that makes some kind of sense. It's like you would do something different when you're ending your phrase, right? As to where this one here, this was just me missing. This I just missed here. Ooh, okay. So, can I zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about? Right here. Mm-hmm. So let's see where it should be. I think it might need to land on this line. Okay. Ba-da-ba. Right here on 21. And the issue is once you move something like this, I may end up having to move a lot of these. I may end up moving all of them. So let's see. Ba-da-ba. And this just goes to show, don't be lazy when you're doing your initial recordings. You have to do a ton of editing. Okay, now let's just go ahead and move all of this. Yeah, I was like a half a beat off. So let's just move everything by a half a beat. That means I'm probably gonna have to move. Well, we'll see if I get back on at some point. Now these are more tough because it's really hard to see. There's multiple notes in here, so I can zoom in. What I may do is I'll just rewrite this little thing. It's just a little roll. It's not. It is important, but it's not like there's any advanced articulation or anything fancy going on with it. Yeah, it's probably going to be more difficult to try to move it than it is to just redo it. It doesn't want to cooperate. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to delete it and we're just going to redo it. No problem. How many sample hits are in there? A lot. Jeez. Okay. So let's go back to the beginning of this section and see where we are with the okay. It seemed like just here there was a problem. Let's double check. Oh, this was an audio clipping error. Oh, I see. Oh. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't mess with that. That's okay. So I will. Let's do this. Let's fix this real quick. So I believe it's on the third one, right, that we do the roll. I did 16ths here. Oh, and let's. Oh, I have the grid on 30 seconds. Oh, that's why. I need 30 seconds. And that's why I was on 30 seconds. I was doing that. And then I believe I had a quarter note on open. No, I want this one. That's the problem. Oh, I'm also on the wrong. I'm on the wrong one. That's the problem. We want tip closed. This one is tip tight. Makes a difference. Wow. Oops. This is one thing I hate about editing, is having to do this whole zoom dance. Over here, delete these. Okay, so that. Here, let's just mark that real quick. Let's listen to that again. I'm not sure where it was. So this is just missing a hit. It's just totally missing. Like right there, I think. What the? Right here. Let's go back. So I think I've got somewhere acceptable. It's um, within the parameters of what I wanted to do. So let's listen back and make sure that my edits are good. And I'm also, while I'm listening back, I'm also listening for errors in the pads and the melody in terms of note length specifically, and where they're starting and ending, that I hit everywhere I wanted to hit and whatnot. So listen to it one more time, and if it's good, we can move on to actually mixing the thing, which I will probably take a break before I start doing it because I like to rest my ears before doing that. But let's one more time. Yeah, there are a couple spots I want to check. So, namely, here where the melody's doing a little more, I want to make sure that those are good. There's some spots here, and also I want to make sure that the counter melody, specifically in areas where they're both doing something, like here and here, that it's lining up properly, at least in the way they're supposed to. If the rhythm is supposed to be different, then it's totally fine. But if it was meant to be the same, it's got to be the same. So let's listen to these couple of spots again. So here, and actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to solo these two tracks. That's all I want to hear. You can also like move them. I suppose that's a good idea. Move them to be together. You know what I mean? Like this. Just so I can see. There we go. Should be easier to see. Okay. Now, so like here, let's listen here. Mm-hmm. So like here, whenever it's coordinated, you don't want them to be too off. They don't have to be like, I guess you want them perfect. I tend to not be too picky about rhythms being 100% perfect, but in this case, because they're coordinated, yeah, see that? Okay, so this one's right on the beat. This is the melody, so we're gonna make the counter melody match. It's this note here. Just shorten it. I believe this is. Oops, don't want to play it. Actually, let me take note of the actual the count. So it's measure 31. No. Oh, I see. 31 point something. Yeah. I believe that's it. And what I'll do, since there's a dead space here, is I'm going to extend this other note. There you go. Let's listen to it. Mmm. Listen to it in context. It changes it, and it may not be good to do it that way. It may need to be staggered, so let's listen to it. No, it's fine. It's perfect like that because it's an ending. Some of these other ones are staggered, and they're supposed to be that way. But that was not intentional in that case. So let's check this one here. This is an audio clipping error, but I want to check the rhythm. Solo again. So again, just the length of the ending. The counter melody is going longer than the melody. That's not okay. It needs to be longer. It needs to be the same, or it needs to be longer. But do I want to shorten this? So I'm going to lean into the make the melody longer instead of making the counter melody shorter. That makes more sense to me. So let's make it extend past the bar line a tiny bit, like that. Is that farther? There you go. Let's listen to that. In context. Oh, and let's go back so we can hear. Oh, it's the end. Cool. I didn't hear any other spots that bothered me in terms of the melody and the counter melody, but let's double check the pads. So let's do the same thing. I'm just going to solo them. So pad 1. Oh, I suppose I will move this as well. Actually, I can see fine. understand why I decided to end the second bad early. Let's listen to this. Yeah, I think it makes more sense to have them all in together. And perhaps even this one. Yeah. Although I'll have to do something. But I would say that's changing compositionally, so I'm not going to mess with that anymore. Other than that, I don't think I intended to do that. This one, did I write something here and cut it off? No. So I'll leave it alone. I don't want to be writing more stuff when we're supposed to be editing. So yeah. Okay. So now we'll move on to the mix. So before I do that, let me save this. Very important because you don't want to um, start mixing and make a terrible mistake and then not be able to go back. That would suck. So let's get rid of these markers because they're kind of going to be in my way. Da-da-da. Mm. You know what, come to think of it, before I start mixing, I'm going to take a break because I've been listening to this for however long I've been recording this. Plus, before I was also listening. So I'm going to take a short break and then I'll come back and do that. So, see you then.